I know it's been a while since I played Adam Antine, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. It's been a while since I could just sit down and focus on a recording rather than just belting something out to make myself feel a little better. I had a recertification that was weighing on me, and as the deadline drew closer, my anxiety would just keep ramping up. It really interfered with my ability to do a lot of other things. But that's done. I recertified successfully, and I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I've made a few more characters. Let's see. Yes, there's Johnny Knack. The Homecoming developers finally provided illusion control to Dominators, which has really changed how this character performs. Before, I had him set as an ice control martial dominator, but I feel that illusions really suits him a lot better. I mean, the character's supposed to be like a Vegas magician, card shark, that sort of thing. I'm essentially hand-waving when he's throwing shurikens as him throwing playing cards. But the real strength in this character is in the illusions. Illusion control allows you to summon up some temporary pets to help you in a fight, and they are very powerful. Let's see, what else has changed? I don't know if I showed off this character. Garzan Troph. Plant control, radiation emission. The idea is that he's an alien that is kind of like a big walking mushroom. No, I've shown off her before. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Mastermind's got an update. Especially ninjas. Kyokujitsu's ninjas are running blenders now. It's really fun to watch as they just pelt enemies with shurikens and then close in to slice them up or beat the crap out of them. Billy Tungsten. This guy's story is that he's just a big, beefy mining boy who got sick and tired of being pushed around. A lot of the inspiration is from, one of those holiday-themed movies, yet I think it was, like, My Bloody Valentine? The main character, the villain character, is a guy wielding a pickaxe and dressed up in a big mining suit. Let's see, there's Magus Carlo. This is a guy who despises Petrothrax. Huh. Oh, there's my dog at the door. I'll be right back. The electric bone shark. Unfortunately, that's one of the best heads that'd be closest to a shark that the game has. Otherwise, I'd have to do some head manipulation with a normal head. And I just don't know if there's anything that's... Unfortunately, there's only one shark head in the game, and that's on Captain Mako. No player gets to use those. Still, this is a fun character. Electric Blast, Bio Armor. The bugs. Characters that are supposed to represent more traditional heroes, like you would see out of normal comics. So, the Ardent Protector is like Superman. Blue Freedom is his wife. Argent Justice is their daughter. The Black Hat Regulator is like an inverse of Batman. I think I might have mentioned that in a previous video. Night Wraith, like Nightwing. Black Hat Regulator's former sidekick, now striking out on her own. Eisenherz, I think his closest analog would be Shining Knight. Toycraft is like another one of the Robins. I think Tim Drake would be a good analog. She builds robots based on classic toys. Now, I can only use the normal robots, mastermind pets. I can't modify any of them to look like what I'm picturing, but I can rename them. So, we've got one named after the Barrel of Monkeys, another named after the... Oh, jeez. What was another one? Let's see, there was the monkeys, there was... The big one is Action Figure. Might have mentioned this before. Jeffrey Dimeval. Jeffrey, named after the butler from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Dimeval, instead of Pennyworth, the value of a dime, the worth of a penny. Ha 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 ha. So he's the Regulator's butler. Dr. Scion is made from is based on a character from another game that I'm in. I wanted to have a visual reference. Maybe have a better idea of how to guide the tabletop RPG characters' future development. Amadeus Richter. A villain. Straight up. This guy is trying to conquer a patch of land for himself and establish a society where you get to do whatever you want and you own what you can keep. It's very anarchic, very brutal nation he wants to set up. The Steel Countess is his wife, girlfriend, something like that. Anodon, a former government experiment gone rogue. Very rogue. Commander Fabian. So with some of my groups, I have masterminds to represent how the group is actually larger than just the few characters I've thrown into it. Commander Fabian, being a mastermind, he leads soldiers. He's been an interesting sort because he has powers that allow him to speed up and steal strength from enemies, and he can pass that on to his troops. It makes his mercenaries a lot tougher than you normally see. Dr. Creel, a nuclear physicist, an atomic engineer, and a mad scientist to boot. War Pulsar is based off of a character from a writing group I used to be a part of. A character I always felt was rather poorly handled. Despite her appearance, she has a very cunning mind. In fact, her appearance is part of her strategy, because she uses it to distract her foes. Then there is the XDR-99F, a combat android that was part of a Chinese program that went rogue. Killed most of its handlers and started waging its own personal one-robot war for its own freedom. It went mercenary, started working with Amadeus Richter. And it would have been a one-job thing, except Richter offered up one of the scientists to the 99F to do with as it pleased. It was probably going to kill her, but then he got messed up in a mission. So Richter had to figure out what to do. So, he gave the Scarlet Tide a job. So now, Commander Fabian's soldiers are backed up by the Scarlet Tide's robots. And to round out this villainous group, we have the Straxen. Not much to this guy. He's just a violent brute. He likes to use dual blades because he likes to feel when they slam into people and rip them apart. But he also has some energy blades that he uses because they can cook. And this guy is a monster through and through. Let's see, anything else? Ah, yes, the Alpha Force. Basically the idea of a superhero branch of the DoD. Led by General Tyler Barton. So, more simply put, mercenaries and traps. Their heavy hitter is Major Michael Steele, because the name Iron Mike was already taken. Funny thing, Steele is made from the same kind of experiment that made Anodon, hence their metal skin. But Steele's process allows him to revert back to normal, making him very similar to Colossus. But he's a former Marine major, so he doesn't have a lot of the personal hang-ups that Colossus does. His approach to his situations is more military-minded. Then there's Gunny Jeremy Stokes, the Devil Dog. This is one of his appearances. In a lot of his other appearances, he actually has a dog's head and claws and those features. Despite that, he doesn't use savage melee. He uses street justice because Street Justice is very similar to the Marine Corps' McMap fighting style, the Marine Corps martial arts program. Mach 10 is the Air Force contribution to Alpha Force, wielding dual pistols. He has an energy aura, making him a sentinel. For his abilities, it's technology. He uses power armor, and a lot of his suits are winged and jet-like. I even made it so that glowing bits match the yellow or the green and red pattern that planes are supposed to follow. Right. Planes are supposed to have, what is it? I think it's green on port side, red on starboard. Let's go into the character and take a look. Here they are. Yep. Oh, wait. Oh, I was wrong. It's green on starboard, red on port. Homecoming made it so that you can make different shoulder pads, different gloves, different boots. Here he's got rocket boots. You can see his wings have little jets coming out. And then you got similar here. This one's more just a heavy armor suit, so the pistols wind up doing the coloration. So the suit similar to this one, just without the face mask. This one, I think the idea was more for like a show plane. How they wind up having a lot of extra bits, sort of like the Blue Angels with their blue and yellow theme. However, the Blue Angels are not Air Force. They're Navy. And here we have Lieutenant Commander Blaine. Her story is that she's a mutant. With the ability to agitate molecules, produce sound waves. She uses a lot of it to manipulate water. So she's a sonic water blaster. Or rather, water sonic blaster. The idea behind her outfits is submarines, a blend of submarines and the Blue Angels, hence the coloration, dark navy blue with gold and yellow. But then there's her outfit itself is, well, more like a scuba suit. With the theme I have behind this one, I should probably put something over her head. Because this harkens more to those deep dive suits with all that heavy armor. Not that it really changes much. She's a blaster, so she's as tough as any other blaster that doesn't have any defense auras of any kind. Oh, she's level 10. I've got time to better flesh out her capability. And then there's Armin Lassiter, another character based off of the writing group I was once a part of. With this guy, I finally made somebody that I hate more, or maybe just as much, as Thaddeus Hawthorne. Because they both have the same disrespect to women. In fact, Lassiter is largely responsible for War Pulsar's mental state. But as far as themes go, Lassiter is like an evil Tony Stark. That's basically what the character I based this guy from was. So that's what this guy essentially is too. Black Dog, the Gator Man, Chesix. These three are all experiments that were made by Hawthorne. I really need to get back to writing my book, because these three show up in it. Oddly enough, this game helped me figure out where to take the story I'm writing. Because at one point I was tickled by the idea of a bio-armor, savage melee tanker, and I was like, yeah, and he's a Gator Man. And then I found out, hey wait, that name's not taken. How is that name not taken? So, I had to make this guy. But Adam Antine, the thing is, I only play Adam Antine when I'm recording. I record other characters, but I also play them just fine without recording. Adam Antine, though, I'm playing him, I'm recording him, I'm also showing off some of the Praetorian story. I've gone through other characters, like these ones. These symbols here indicate that they're Praetorian, that they're going through Praetorian arcs. That's Loyalist, that's Rebel or Resistance. I've been refamiliarizing myself with the arcs, and I'm baffled by how the Paragon developers just crammed everything into 20 levels. It's a lot of content that really could have been stretched out to level 25, definitely, but maybe even stretched out to level 30, maybe even 35. Like, easily to level 25, comfortably into level 30. maybe pushed out to level 35. I don't understand why they put so many missions just front loaded, levels 1 to 20. You wind up missing out on a lot of content, and often not because your character is only going on one path. Often it's because you wind up accidentally out-leveling content. I got this... For instance, one thing I've been trying to do is a mission that I always found to be really funny because it's a reference to Leon the Professional. Finally got to do it. It maxes out at level 15. But it gets finicky. The contact that has the arc might drop you as soon as you hit level 15, even if you're in the middle of the arc. It's really finicky code, and by the time you reach the contact, you very likely will be looking at levels 13 or 14. I wound up going through 3 contacts of content without my experience running. You can turn off your experience gain. And if you turn off your experience gain, you get more currency. But anyway, I had to turn off my experience gain for 3 contacts in order to finally do this mission. I mean, yeah, it's funny to have a scene where a cop is shouting, "Send in everyone," and then there's a question, "Everyone?" And then the guy screams, "Everyone!" Again, a reference to Leon the Professional, where, damn it, I'm blanking on the guy's name. He played Commissioner Gordon on the Christian Bale Batman movies. Gary Oldman. After seeing a bunch of guys get wasted by Jean Reno, Gary Oldman tells his assistant, "Get me everyone." And the guy's like, "Everyone?" And he turns around and screams, "Everyone!" It shouldn't be so easy to miss that sort of thing, though. Oh well. On to the game. Now, I really need to figure out this guy's character. I mean, yeah, he's the character my brother asked me to make. But I don't really know what this character is. I ran into a similar problem with Kodiak Green, the dual pistols blaster, based on a friend's request that I give him 2 guns and jump real high. Eventually I wound up settling on him being a mercenary who hunts monsters in his spare time. Actually, where is he going? Okay, we're going to Imperial City. The People's Park. It's actually really unsettling. Unsettlingly realistic naming convention. Some of the worst nations in recent history have a habit of naming major locations and landmarks the people's this, the people's that, while the government itself is just stripping away all the rights they can from their people. I mean, my country is not perfect, but we don't put such bland naming conventions on any of our public access areas. Alright. So, what's going on? Ask about available missions. Been working for weeks on this story, but I hit a brick wall. Well, to be more precise, I ran into a bit of a problem called the Destroyers. Oh, hold on, let me back up and bring you up to speed. Don't worry, I'm not recording you. That would get us both into more trouble than we can afford. Okay, so here it is. I've been trying to figure out who is supplying the Destroyers with their Fixodine, and what their apparent beef is with Predator White. As you can imagine, it hasn't been very easy to interview these guys. I even had a few psychos take a swing or two at me. Good thing my brother and I took boxing lessons a few years back. Whatever, that isn't important. What is important is that I need your help to get the last bit of my story from the Destroyers here in Imperial City. Do you think you could help me out? Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. You rock. This is what I need you to do. Take this recorder device and question the Destroyers in Imperial City until you find out where they are getting their Fixodine from. Once you figure that out, then comes the hard part. Bust into the Fixodine den and look for clues and question everyone you can. I have a theory that someone in the government may be supplying these guys, but to what end, I can't imagine. Oh, I'm so happy you're willing to help me. Man, I was freaking out there for a while. I wasn't sure if I'd find anyone. So, question the Destroyers. With the way this game works, that means I've got people to beat up. Oh, funny thing. So, general chat here. You get to see people's local names, their character names. So, if I were to speak in general, it would show up as Adam Antine. A couple nights ago, I was playing, and what do I see? Adam-Antium. One of the names I tried. Almost like it was taunting me. I need to go to here. Because I've got things I need to offload. I'm mulling over a storyline for Adam Antine where he's the missing Baker brother. Thought killed during the alien invasion, but then found by unscrupulous individuals who happily modified him. It matches his origin anyway. Science scrapper. But yeah, they modified him, trying to turn him into a weapon. And he's trying to regain his identity. Alright, yeah, that's a guy I can take down. This is one of the destroyers. And those are a couple of PPD that were fighting him. Never. And there's more destroyers. They're not going to be giving me much experience points. Well, the boss there will. Here I am at level 9, facing enemies that are wielding rocket launchers. Now I gotta go find Acid Black's Fixidine Den. Actually, I think I'm going to want that open for a bit. I'll just bring this down. There we go. Ah, crap. Well, I'm going to fight through this. I did not want this to be level adjusted because, as I said before, you can out-level the content here and just be unceremoniously kicked out of it. I'm actually not that concerned about the difficulty. As I've said before, willpower is actually one of the simplest armor sets to use in this game. Why are these guys 2 levels higher than me? because that's how the game works. Each mission has a mix of enemies that are a level higher and same level as the settings. That is a bit odd, though. That was a lot of that's a lot of enemies. See, this is what I keep talking about, how Pretoria had its difficulty adjusted beyond the normal standards. Those spawns were about the right size for if I had it at ×2 players. It's a bit weird that there were 2 of them together like that. But you would never find anything like that in City of Heroes or City of Villains. But here in Going Rogue, there it is. The other night I also had a case of cascading ambushes, where you get one ambush, and then another ambush, before the first one is even finished, and then another ambush. That's not how the game's supposed to be, but I don't mind it. I like that the game can be challenging. But if you're used to the game behaving a certain way, where an ambush doesn't spawn until the last enemy of the previous ambush is defeated and despawns, like when these bodies fade away, it can be really jarring. Oh boy, I might actually get beaten here. Yep. There it is. Beaten down. Now I could res here by using these. Get right back into the fight. But I'm going to stock up on combat drugs. can buy inspirations from this nurse. I can also buy them from this robot. Healing. I can also sell this. Get another one. And then a basic cocktail. And in just a moment, I can hear my cat scratching at the door. Aw, Hershey. Poor Hershey. Paws are all cold. Okay. So that's a nice basic loadout. That gang was a bit tough. Maybe I need an attitude adjustment. Metro. Fly 1. Fly pose 1. Or should I? Oh, whoops. Don't want to be flying too far. Nope. How was this supposed to go? There we go. Now we can properly Superman. At the click of a button. I'm back, and I'm on drugs. And there's my dog asking for a treat and to be let outside. Just a moment. Oi. Usually when you see so many boxes that are the same, the actual objective you're looking for will be in something different. Usually. There it is. Shipping information. Fixodine is coming from Neuron's labs. Neuron being one of the top Praetorians. Oh, missed. Oh, that hurts. That hurts my groin. There we go. Okay, now we've got a sufficient stockpile. And some more money. And another inspiration. There we go. No drugs. Tell me you found something good. Oh, I can tell you found out something good. Jessica reviews all the recording you did in an almost catatonic state. When she's done, it takes her a while to say anything. I can't believe this. This is amazing. Unable to contain her joy, she gives you a big hug and is all smiles. Alright, I just have to do some last-minute editing on my piece with these new facts. Then I'm going to send a copy to TPN. We're going to blow the doors right off their hinges, Adam Antine. You're an inspiration to the resistance, Adam Antine. Without your help, the injustices of this government might have gone unchecked. Thank you for validating my belief that I'm doing the right thing and that I'm doing something right. Alright, I finished the editing and had my boyfriend drop it into the TPN Dropbox. Don't worry. I used one of my pen names, tetrachloride. Okay. I've used it in the past. Yeah, look at that. Typo. There should be an it there. Now the only issue is that TPN sends all their footage to Athena Labs. They're going to edit everything out of my story over there. So that's where I'm going to need your help again. I need you to get into Athena Labs and make sure that my material skips the editing process. Here we go. Alright. Here, this is the schedule for the security sweeps of the building. My boyfriend knows a guy who can neutralize the surveillance systems remotely, but the security system will figure that out in a few minutes. Once you access the computers, the clockwork will be alerted to your tampering. If the security system detects an intruder, the PPD will be called. Their best response time is 2 minutes, so the game is basically telling me I've got 2 minutes to zip through this. You're going to have to move fast to get in and out of there unseen. I have faith in you, though. And then, one of the mechanics introduced in Going Rogue is that you could reach out to the opposing side if you were acting in a spy manner. So I could contact a guy named Provost Marchand, but I don't have him on my contact list, and I wouldn't have been calling him anyway. Better mask up. Still trying to find the transition that I prefer for Adam Antine. Weird. Bar runs down slow. Might have misread the mission here. No, I didn't. You did it? You did it! This is so awesome! I'm going to nail those high and mighty praetors. Finally, all my hard work will actually do something to help improve things and expose the crud under all this whitewash and gold. You know Jason Maxwell? Yeah, the columnist who has sparked all the controversy over at TPN today for his borderline pro-resistance articles? Well, he's a member of the Resistance. He's also my boyfriend. Well, our plan was to get my article into TPN through Athena Labs, just as you helped me to do, but we ran into a snag. You see, Jason and I were going to go underground with the Resistance before the story hit, but I think something has gone wrong. He called me a few minutes ago and just whispers the word, "Get out now." Should have been phrase. Whispers the phrase. And then hung up. I think he's in serious trouble. If he ends up in the BAF, it's all my fault. Thank you. Listen, he and Kenneth Hall, the chief editor, are on the TPN campus right now. Kenneth is a Resistance member also. The plan was to push my story right before a break and then leave. They were supposed to be out of the building by now, but I haven't heard a word from them since Jason's last phone call. I'm scared. Please, can you find Jason and Kenneth and get them out of there? Energy morph while flying looks kind of dumb. That's supposed to be a camera. Anachronism gumbo. Did I remember to fix that? Yes. Hang on, I'm going to do something. I'm not sure if I had that set to solo bosses like it should have been. So I'm going to have to redo that first fight. How do I do that, you ask? By picking up one of the random Radiant missions. Select that. It abandons your current mission. And then I get back into it. That will have reset my mission. And you can tell because this introductory dialogue pops up again. The building is crawling with PPD search teams looking for the Resistance sympathizers you are here to protect. And there they are. Oh. So he was a lieutenant. Interesting. Shank. God, I really wish we could have gotten that power set. I just love that. Look. That when you hit them, their armor flashes. It only registers the first hit. But when, I would say, 85-90% of the attacks in this game are single hit attacks. My back feels funny and my vision is blurry. They just wouldn't stop shooting me with their power gauntlets. Jason coughs and spasms in agony as the color begins rapidly draining from his face. Your back is broken. Don't try to move. I'll get you out of here. No. Gotta get the story out. It's not worth your life. Jason recovers a bit of strength as your words seem to anger him slightly. Don't you dare make my death be for nothing. Alright, what do you want me to do? Suddenly very verbose. The cops, they have the main transmitter control room guarded. But I installed a back door in Laura's workstation. With a shaking hand, Jason pulls his wallet out of his back pocket and fumbles with it until it falls to the floor in front of him. He curses. Password is on my loyal tea and coffee card. Find Kenneth Hall. He can transmit the story. Alright, I'll find Kenneth, transmit the story, and then I'll be back for you. Jason's breathing is shallow, and he says nothing. Yep. Time to carve up some cops. So normally when I come into this is a very common section of these office maps. Normally, I immediately beeline into here. Because if you go into here the normal way, because the spawn usually has a group of people right there, the folks that usually spawn here will see you, and you wind up having to fight two groups. So I usually duck in here, jump up onto this balcony, cross into the room here, and attack these folks before going on to these folks. Oh, I got an ambush on the way. Dang, they got me. Ooh. A bit unfair. Again, the spawn sizes are strange. It doesn't help that willpower doesn't have a lot of energy mitigation. Like, so, powers, combat attributes, damage resistance. Energy is only at 8.8. or 8.18. Smashing and lethal are pretty high. But it also doesn't help that I don't have a lot of the armor abilities that willpower really needs. Like, once I've got fast healing, rise to the challenge, and heightened senses, willpower works a lot better. Okay, so here we go. I never fell down before. That never happened. Don't ask questions. I shouldn't steal somebody else's catchphrase. I'm not Tex. I'm not saying that Tex steals other people's catchphrases. I'm saying that the don't ask questions is one of Tex's catchphrases. Oh boy, level 12. That's a new power. And I don't know what I'm going to get. I think a new attack will be available, but I think another armor will be available too. At the very least, fast healing's available. No authority badge. I'm running out of those. I'll always have throwing knives. But as you can see, their effectiveness is waning. And eventually the throwing knives will just be useless. He managed to successfully transmit Jessica's story and save the life of Kenneth Hall. Jason Maxwell, however, is in rough shape. You received 9 reward merits, meaning this arc is done. Alright. And that, I'm just going to go ahead and abandon. Jessica Flores bursts into tears. There's little comfort to be given her in knowing that her boyfriend may well have sacrificed his life so that her story could reach the masses. I need to see Jason. I need to get out of here. Thank you. The people of Pretoria may not ever know who tetrachloride is, or who Acid Black was talking to in that video. But I will always remember that the sacrifices made today were made so others could see the all-powerful truth. I've got someone I think you should meet. Do you know Luke Larson? Yeah, the politician. He's done a lot to keep Imperial City a great place to live, but recently, with all the crazy going on, he's taken a pretty bad rap. Whatever. People don't have all the information. If they really knew Luke, they'd see that he had their best interests in mind. Despite working for the government, he believes strongly in the old ways of the Republic. You can trust him. Now we go back to the People's Park. Let's fly faster. See, energy more full flying, you just hang there. And despite having wiped out a bunch of police officers, I can talk to Nightstar here and get trained up. Okay. My choices. I can go with fast healing. I can go with vicious slash. I'm thinking I'm going to go with vicious slash. Because I really need another attack. Something that can take the place of the throwing knives. Because they're just not doing it anymore. I'm going to stick with this, what I'm doing here. Alright, I'm going to have to be more economical. Alright, let's go find Luke Larson. Luke Larson, it's good to finally meet you. I've been keeping tabs on the new Powers Division guys and gals coming in my city. It's a little hobby of mine, but lately, it's been really hard to keep up. So many new faces and names, I can't keep them all straight. But since you're here, I could really use your hand. You see, there's only so much good a politician can do in a situation like this. What we need is a doer out there, matching action to words. The people are searching for a hero. It could be you. It's good to talk to you. Flores had a lot of good things to say about you. Said you saved her boyfriend's life. We could use a lot more people like you here in Pretoria, but I didn't ask to see you just to sing your praises. We've got a situation brewing in the Resistance, and it affects Wardens and Crusaders alike. I've heard some disturbing rumors that some of the more extremist cells of the Crusaders have been stooping to all new lows in order to get an edge over Cole and the PPD. I've been hearing people talk that the Resistance is allied with the Syndicate and even the Destroyers. This is from people on the street, even on TPN. The Crusaders doing this are going to completely undermine any semblance of support we might have among the Praetorian citizens. I need your help in putting an end to these dealings. He's not wrong either. The Resistance Crusaders the Resistance Crusader arc ends up at this level range, ends with detonating a neutron bomb inside the city. Fortunately, it's not close enough to the surface to harm any of the civilians. But that's only because the police raid, and that's where we get the send in everyone. What do you mean everyone? Everyone! And so it's a pile of Praetorian Police Department and a number of the Crusaders that are killed by the neutron bomb instead. And the funny thing is that that sacrifice winds up being entirely in vain. Because in one of the other arcs, and in a lot of the other discussion, you find out that the Praetorians are basically just cloning all of their loyal troops, including the police. So all those guys who got killed didn't matter. Which, I guess that makes sense. It's part of the theme of going rogue. The Crusaders hardly ever bring any positive change. The Wardens do their best to help as many people as they can. Dive in, rip out. See, now that we've got more attacks, we've got what my brother was asking for. A character that behaves a lot more like Wolverine. We got the Frenzy Claw attacks, we got the Brutal Claw, Jab, Raking. Heck, I might even be able to just go ahead and stop brawling because these powers recharge so quick. Oh, there's my dog again. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go into rest mode. Be right back. Oh. Stepping over you, Jimmy. There we go. Alright, back on my feet. Tang, 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 tang. Yeah. Let's go ahead and remove Brawl from the attack list. Or the attack chain. And we can move that there. Stop, stop. He's already dead. Oh, that's concerning. I probably could have wiped out that entire room by blowing up these high explosives. However, I would have been caught in the blast too. Oh, here we go again. Another. Oh, both groups are after me. Despite being a tabbed targeting game, which means tab, select a target, and then the attacks behave more like die rolls. Despite being that kind of game, there's still a lot of positional strategy you can engage in. Cone attacks especially. So that's why I'm usually maneuvering around a fight. Because if I get them bunched up and then I get into a position, I can use Shred and Sands of Mu to hit lots of guys all at once. And girls. I don't know if the game ever explained why the drugs the destroyers use give them mango hues. Like, you can see some of their skin starting to discolor here, like at the tips of their fingers. And then there's this guy who's been turned yellow. This girl who's been turned orange. Boom! Just like I was talking about. And you can even see the Rocket Girl cheering about that earlier. Boom! Looks like she didn't like it. That Crusher very literally has mango coloration. And ready to go. Huh, these three could be brothers. The exact same character model. That there. That there. And there's this guy. Fighting a big apple. Johnny Slaughter. Looks like we got ourselves a pinata. You mean pinata? Shut up. Victory. No, I can't. High explosives and a meeting with the resistance. Oh, this cannot be good. I know it's hard to be friends with a politician. We've got a unique view on things, and it can rub people the wrong way. Regardless, I think of you as a good friend. You've only done one thing for me, and I already think of you as a good friend. Mind you, that one thing involved going into a warehouse full of roided up lunatics and pummeling them all to the dirt and ripping them to shreds. That's pretty amazing. I checked with one of my contacts down in the tunnels. She's a mousy little thing, but she knows the tunnels like the back of her hand. Tunnel rat. She told me the tunnels have been crawling with destroyers and crusader squads all day. They all seem to be convening under People's Park, according to her. It sounds like Pain God and his destroyers were just one little piece of a massive puzzle. Who's Pain God? Who did I defeat? Johnny Slaughter. I think they're planning on blowing up something big, like a skyscraper. If they toppled a skyscraper in the middle of downtown. Okay. This is the People's Park. They're apparently congregating underneath it. Maybe it's that one they're planning on toppling. Could be this one. Let me get up to some of these windows. I need to see something. Graphics and audio. We've got environment reflections. You should be able to see me in there. Like, that was one of the main highlights of Pretoria. These reflections are actual reflections. I'm not looking at a mini-map through a transparent surface. Alright, I gotta go AFK a second. Time. Okay. Alright. Sometimes I wonder if the idea behind a lot of these missions would be that players would just zip through the maps. And just race to objectives, avoiding every fight they can. And that my method of playing, of beating up every single person I can find, might be a bit too old school. I wonder if that's part of the reason why I keep out-leveling content. You're being too thorough for this game. Where the hell did you come from? Fortunately, these are high explosives and not proximity bombs. And yes, this game does have proximity bombs. You get too close and they will explode. Almost died there because I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so these guys are just coming out of nowhere. Just showing up, late to the party, joining the fight. I mean, I'm sure the destroyers don't mind. But they're really annoying. There's another one. Damn it, Paul, stop throwing your whiskey bottles at me. Oh, jeez, here comes Steve. Ah, Steve, damn it, I'm in the flames too. Yeah, but aren't you immune to my fire? What? No, you jackass, that's not how this works. Mechanics-wise, that is how it works. You can get into a fight, and if you got the right powers, you can set a bonfire at the ankles of your enemies and your allies. Enemies will take massive damage. Your allies, they'll be just fine, even though they're standing in the flames, and usually even more than the enemies are. But if the game didn't have selective targeting, if the game didn't maintain a no friendly fire attitude, oh, this would be a much different game. I can't use my AoEs. No one lets me use Fireball. They get so angry when I blow them up along with the enemies. And then later, yeah, I went into a council fight. Half the team pulled out rocket launchers, and then everyone was dead. I don't think they're thinking through these tactics very well. I'm going to need these. Oh, he was just outside of it. That's it. Rip his guts out. Team ran ahead. I decided to full auto the enemy group. And then everybody was mad at me because they all got shot repeatedly in the back. Only the tanker survived. And he came after me. So I had to put him down with a sniper bullet. Nobody's getting past level 6. I got this meeting I need to stop, but I just gotta... wipe out everybody between the entrance and the objective. And that's why. I haven't been playing Adam Antine that much because, well, like I said, I want to record him. It gets weird though. Like, you can outlevel content between levels 1 and 5. Levels 5 and 10. I mean, heck, one of the videos I recorded of Adam Antine, that very thing happened. He reached level 10 while he was in the middle of something with one of the contacts, and then got nothing for you. It's like, wait, what? Just unceremoniously over. And you can outlevel the content between levels 10 and 15. Then you hit level 15, and the normal Praetorian stuff only goes to 20. But there, you don't outlevel that stuff. Well, here's Pain God. But yeah, in some of my other playthroughs of other Praetorian characters, because it's been a while. I haven't refamiliarized myself with this content since Homecoming released. I didn't start doing the Praetorian stuff until, well, I made Adam Antine. Specifically because it had been so long. I wanted to see things fresh and new. Or refreshed. Renew. But now, having gone through it on several other characters, it's not that I dislike the content. It's more that it's wasted opportunity. Hate Fist. What a name. Well, meeting's over. There's these guys again. Look who's late to the party. Again. Tom. And another one. Damn it, David. They needed you back when I was beating up the bosses. And if you all hadn't shown up one by one, did you really need to buy beef jerky? Target, Yin Corp. Going in heavy armor. I can actually do something to get another costume slot right now. I'm going to get a new outfit for Adam Antine. Let's reprogram Clockwork to defend the bombs. Ooh, wait, before I do this. Oh, I hope that didn't just ruin something. Okay, the mission's still there. Woo! Give me another Radiant mission. Here's some destroyers. That'll do. Select. Yeah. Select. Abandon that. Yes. I'm going to need this to go up a level. Yeah, I know. I'm probably going to end up out-leveling something. I'm not particularly concerned anymore. Because one of the fun things about this game is that it has what's called the Ouroboros, which allows you to go back to arcs you may have missed. Train up to the next level. Get some extra slots in there. Why am I not upgrading this? Because the only thing it does is defend against psionics. I'm not encountering that many psionics right now. I will later, and that's going to be miserable. But I'll be in a lot better shape than most other characters that hit the 15 to 20 range. Because Praetoria likes to throw psychics at you. Accuracy and damage. I think when I'm done with this arc, I'll go ahead and commence with that method of getting this guy in another costume before level 20. Okay, so here we go. I've got 30 bombs to disarm. If you bump this detonator too much, the mercury in the thermometer will cause the glass tube to shift and it will complete the circuit to the car battery, detonating the explosives. It's a little bit disturbing how well the developers understood that. Examine the wiring. You look at the massive wires, but all you see are red, green, and black wires. Examine the battery. You examine the battery setup. It's a simple setup. One positive and one negative line. Looking at it, you don't see any reason why you couldn't just disconnect them both, assuming you're fast enough. Disconnect the battery. With luck, determination, and a little more agility than the average person, you wrap your fingers around the positive and negative clamps, and with a swift tug, detach them both at the same instant. Only 2 words can explain how relieved you are when you see the calculator turn off. That's an interesting way to subtly say your character shouts, "Holy shit!" And yet, I think I did something wrong. Probably should have gone through and disarmed all of these first. That is one of the neat things about going rogue. It has moments like this. Like there was one mission where you had to go and beat up an enemy. Normally that involves beating an enemy until they're defeated. And if they're not, if that's not the case, then you're supposed to, then the enemy's target reticle will turn blue and the fight will stop. However, in this one mission, you have to go beat up a guy, and then the guy suddenly shouts, "Stop, stop, I've learned my lesson." But you can keep beating him up until he's broken. You're actually not supposed to do that. They really were experimenting with the limits of this game's engine and design and coding. And right here, I think I screwed up because I could have disarmed the bombs before disarming the depot. And I don't think I'm going to make it. But instead, I saw the depot and went ahead and disarmed it, and now all these bombs are about to detonate anyway. Yeah, I'm not going to make it. Let's see if I can make it to the exit, though. Run away, bravely run away. I had to escape from my fuck up. You disarmed the primary threat to Imperial City. Several smaller payloads went off further in the tunnels, but the wonder of architectural design saved the city from suffering more than a slight tremor, thanks to your quick actions. Ha ha! There were only some explosions instead of no explosions. I am a hero today. Now the Crusaders are asking us for help. Normally I'd say they got what they deserved for trusting those maniacs, but this is life or death. Oh no! Find out where the destroyers are keeping Tunnel Rat. Sweepers. PPD suppressors. More sweepers. Syndicate members. Gentlemen, I'm here to kick your ass. These folks just sat there and enjoyed watching the show of some lunatic ripping apart a bunch of people next to them. Loyalty and coffee. Loyalty and coffee. Where does this go? I know it goes to the roof, but... That's a really tall coffee shop. I need to know where you put Tunnel Rat. I don't give a fuck about you cops. Now rescue Tunnel Rat. Superman! Wait, what? Screw it. Actually, no. I'm going to fight this at level 12. Or level 13. Mission. Yeah, it says level 12. Oh, right, because that wasn't actually a debriefing. It was a continuation of the mission. Alright, I'm back. Has everybody had their combat drugs? Let's make this a more fair fight. Rocket Girl! Funnily enough, City of Villains has rocket men. They're the Gold Brickers. And every time I fight them, I can't help but think of the Elton John song. Mostly because my dad would play Oli Stations every Sunday morning, and that's the song I would keep waking up to. It's like he turned the volume up whenever that song came on. Weird to think that my dad really enjoyed the song Rocket Man. But it's a catchy tune, so, eh. Beautiful. I might actually make use of these. There they are. And there's Tunnel Rat. Amped up and full of rage. There's Pain God again. Didn't I kill you? Pain God. What are you doing alive? Alright, let's just leave. Because there's going to be plenty of people between us and the exit. Oh, look at that. She does fight. Bashy smashy. Lethal force authorized. I repeat, lethal force authorized. Jeez. I want that aura. It's just so neat, this beehive barrier aura that wraps around them. And only shows up when they're getting hit. Bashy smashy. Hacky slashy. I can't think of anything to rhyme with clawy. Nine reward merits. Okay. Not only did you save my feisty friend and informant, Tunnel Rat, but you also put a stop to some dangerous dealings between the more extreme members of our movement and the psychotic destroyers. Let's hope that the former learns to choose their friends and allies a little more wisely in the future. If they continue to make friends like these, the Resistance won't need enemies. You're a great man. It's people like you who are going to save Pretoria from herself. I'm happy to call someone of your historical significance a good friend. Yet, funny that he says that. At the end of the Praetorian arc, regardless of the path you choose, you hightail it out. You just skip town. You end up going to either Paragon City or the Rogue Isles, and you might come back to Pretoria to deal with the shenanigans going on in the First Ward and the Night Ward. Two locations where the story takes an abrupt right turn into things that don't make any sense. And there, your alignment doesn't matter. You're just assumed to be a Resistance member. I'm going to go ahead and do this. A major complaint of City of Heroes when it first came out was that once you reached the end, there wasn't anything to do aside from raids and maybe teaming with friends. Which, not bad, but sometimes you just want to go around and do some missions on your own. City of Villains came out, and part of its mechanic was a Radiant mission system where you would pop open the local newspaper and find heists encoded into the articles. So you would take up one of those opportunities. Then you would reach maximum level. There's nothing left to do, but you could always pop open the paper, do some random missions. This eventually got ported over to City of Heroes. And then Going Rogue came along. And they toyed with the formula. Then when Incarnate abilities came out, the developers made it so that some of the other high-end zones had their own particular Radiant mission contacts. Oh heck, we even got the same thing in the Rikti War Zone. There's a contact called Borea. And she sends you out on search and destroy and assassination and sabotage missions against the Rikti threat. Then there's the Hollows, which got its own Radiant missions contact, which I don't know why, because you outlevel the Hollows very, very fast. That's a location that probably could have used a revamp. I also want those shoulder pads. We can get... Actually, no, we can't even get those gloves. Those gloves are awesome. I mean, look at them. And that's that. Meridian mission. Just something you can do for experience points. And the various rewards that are dropped when you defeat enemies. What am I looking at? What am I holding? Kismet. That's a rather popular defense set. Mostly because that first one there improves your recovery. Explosive strike. Chance for smashing damage on a knockback. That's not a bad thing to have. Cloud senses. Nobody cares about that. And air burst. Ranged AoE. AoE, area of effect. Okay, so I can go with Bloodthirst. I can go with Fast Healing. And this would boost my accuracy and damage for a very short amount of time. I can go with Confront, which is a taunt. For Scrappers, the taunt is a single target thing. It's basically like, hey, you come here. You specifically. The intent is that the Scrapper can draw single enemies away from a larger group and make the fight easier. It's usually not how it works. Usually when you get one guy's aggro, they immediately go, hey, help me go beat this guy up. I can get Fast Healing. I could also get something from the fighting pool, get Kick, and build my way towards getting Tough, Weave, and Cross Punch. Which you would normally think, well, those aren't powers that a melee character really needs. Except Tough still stacks with high pain tolerance and mind over body. Weave still stacks with heightened senses. Ooh, let me see something. Show detailed info. Okay. Weave also adds defense to psionics, so that would also stack with Indomitable Will. By bobbing and weaving, you're able to avoid the mind bullets. And Cross Punch is just fun. I'm going to go with Kick. I can get Fast Healing later. When Rise to the Challenge comes up, I'll get that. Rise to the Challenge boosts your regeneration depending on how many enemies are around you. So it would be like having Fast Healing. Like. Not exactly. Now, where to put it? Kick's not a particularly effective power. It's roughly the equivalent of a tier 1 attack. But the fighting pool has some interesting quirks to it. So there's boxing, which is a very, very miserable melee attack. It is very low damage. However, it has a chance to inflict an intense stun. It knocks people out. Well, for a given definition of knockout. Oh, dang. Kick, on the other hand, it's equivalent to tier 1 and tier 2 attacks. And it has a good chance of knocking an enemy over. So they're not useless powers. I don't know if it was the Homecoming devs or the Paragon devs, but there's also a synergy between boxing, kick, cross punch, and brawl. Actually, I think I'm going to move this. In fact, I've only got one left. I'm going to move you here. So this is something I start to do. I start to usually put my core attacks right here on the first tray, so that way I can just cycle through 1 through 0. But alternative attack patterns I put into one of these trays over here. Let me use something real quick because I saw that when I logged in. Chat settings, load. There we go. So yeah, I'll put an alternative attack chain over here. Blasters usually make heavy use of it, but I also sometimes do it with my melee characters. I can still use any of these, and I could still put these onto the first table over here, but it's usually easier for me to have them divided up like this. Jeez, that wasn't what I meant to do. So now, or just like that. Now, secondary costume. I'm going to go over to the Halloween trader. The Halloween trader takes event salvage, which I don't have on this character. And I don't have any in my email. So, in the Halloween event, you can go around in the overworld and click on doors. Sometimes monsters will come out. Sometimes you'll be given a treat. Like, monsters come out, that's a trick. If you're given an award, it's a treat. The treat could be alternate costumes, it could be inspirations, influence, or infamy, or information, currency. But sometimes they'll give you event salvage. Somebody actually bought that. This event salvage. The Back Alley Brawler Halloween gloves. Think Hulk. I think the Hulk gloves. Hulk smash! I'm not entirely sure what the Hammerdown Halloween costume is supposed to be. I guess like a big ball that the kid would walk around in. And then there's Lord Recluse Halloween masks and Statesman Halloween masks. And I can send one of these a piece to myself. And then we go back to the character select. You can also use the email to send money to your various characters. That's what I usually do with any of my new characters. Send them a stipend of cash so that they can buy up enhancements as they level up. Considering some of the arguments I've seen people have in this game, I'm sure there's somebody who's like, that's the wrong way to play, that's lazy. Come on, I already played through the game once the normal way. So, claim the gloves, claim the hammy costume, claim the recluse mask, claim the statesman mask, and delete. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. I don't have any emails anymore. It's no longer read. So now I've got the salvage. Talk to Acantha. Give Acantha the salvage. If I had 10 of each, I could get a spider pet. With 1 of each, I can get one of the alternate costumes. That'll last for about 2 weeks. An actual 2 weeks. 14 days of real time. If I had 50 of each, I could buy a respec, which is the ability to retune your powers. But I feel that's kind of a waste. There are ways to get them already in-game. And really, once you know how the game generally works, you can usually just play through and build your character. You usually don't need more than 2 or 3 respecs total on each character, and you can acquire more than that. And even still, you can always go to the market and buy a respec recipe. 3,466 for sale. There's 450 that are bidding. They're a bit expensive, but you can get all the respecs you need, and you don't need to dump a bunch of salvage into it. But this is what I'm here for. Another costume slot. Here's my costume slots. Da 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 da. And there it is. A copy of my first costume slot. There are 3 contacts that can do that, but you can only do that once. So, how am I going to look? Well, the first thing I'm going to do that's interesting. Right, because they function like another contact. I think I'm going to have to talk to the actual actual costume contact, which is the tailor. I could talk to the trainer, but you've already seen Night Star plenty of times. Rita's Remnants. Rita Mayfair. And she's the costume contact in Pretoria. She doesn't give any missions. She's just costume editing. The Homecoming crew have made it that you can go ahead and edit your character's physical statistics on the average costume editor. There are no... It used to be you had to go to visit a tailor surgeon, like an icon surgeon or a face maker surgeon, but now they all do this. The only ones that don't are the trainers, the ones that you talk to in the bases, and the mission giver contacts. Which is great, because otherwise this would be annoying as hell. So, let's back up. What have we got? Well, the first thing I'd like to do is change this trench coat. The coloration is just aggravating, because it's a gray, tattered trench coat, and meanwhile he's got the gray armor here. Another thing I'd like to do... Where are you? There you are. There. That way it implies that the armor is encroaching up into his skin, up onto his face. But here, there we go. And the sleeves, same color. There, now it's a tattered tan trench coat. Coat tail, interior, same. Now I'll just go ahead and pay the 1,020. So, we've got basic armor, armor with wings, heavy armor. We've got hobo. We've got sports fan. We've got basketball player. It's a bit of a toss-up, because I've got an even number of combat armors and an even number of civilian armors, or civilian suits. I'm thinking... another combat armor of some kind. One of these days I should probably have Adam join in and go through these options with me. Metallic. Full mass. Face. Back to the insect hybrid. But why did I do that? Because now I can play around with options. We can do the antenna. We can add other things. What to add. Oh, there's my dog again. Oh, okay. So back to the full masks. Upper body, chest detail. Shoulders will be looking for barbarian iron. The belt, I think I'll just stick with the ribs. The metal ribs. Lower body. What should I do? I think I know what to do for boots. Even though they're called Valkyrie. Actually, I can go with the Valkyrie or the Black Knight boots. But I think the Black Knight boots would be a little much. Might be better to save that for one of the later outfits. Oh yeah, one of these is definitely going to have to be organic armor. There they are. Valkyrie boots. I don't know why they... Valkyrie strikes me as the wrong name for them. However, they have gone on to become the armor of choice for the character Valkyrie. And her opposite, Battle Maiden. There we go. Gray and black. And heavy armor. $10,540. Instead, paid nothing. And there he is. Go ahead and burn those. Use that. Delete. He can still fly because the costumes don't really affect the gameplay. They just look different and look cool. Yeah, but there we go. I'm going to go ahead and park next to that contact. His arms shoot right through his shoulder plates. Alright. And with that, I think that's enough for today. Hope you had fun watching and listening to me ramble. Thank you and have a good one.